For Excel exercise number 4, we will analyze the sales and on-hand data for the styles listed below, as well as analyze the styles based on the vendor, the fabric, and the classification. After we have analyzed the sales and on-hand data for our styles, we will then forecast markdowns for the styles which had slow selling. But first off, we need to have a good understanding of how the styles performed in our department. So we need to look at everything on a total level as well as a style level. So let's create a total column. From here, we will add up the 4-week unit sales for all of our styles. After that, we will also add up all of the units remaining on hand for all of these styles. So we can see we have sold 6,136 units in total for all of the styles represented, and we still have 19,896 units on hand of these styles sitting in our retail stores. Let's put up a border to match the other numerical data we are looking at. So now we need to figure out our percent to total sales. In order to figure out our percent to total sales, we compare the sales for the single style to the total amount of sales we have sold. So we take cell D7 for the Roxy Fleece pullover to represent the 130 units sold and divide it into the total sales of 6,136 units. Since we are looking at a percent here, we need to convert this number into a percent and make sure we expand one decimal place. So the Roxy Fleece pullover has represented 2.1% of the total unit sales. So in the 4 weeks that the Roxy Fleece pullover has been on the sales floor, we have sold 2.1% to the total sales of the 4 weeks. Let's go ahead and figure out this information for the remaining styles. We have 530 units divided by 6,136 units. The O'Neill Fleece pullover is 275 units divided into our 6,136 units. Our Hurley Fleece hoodie is 979 units sold divided by our 6,136 units total that have sold. Our Roxy short sleeve logo tee, 563 units sold divided by 6,136 units total sold. Same thing with our Billabong knit short sleeve logo, as well as our O'Neill short sleeve logo and our Hurley short sleeve logo tee as well. We need to now reflect all of these in a percent as well, so we will highlight these, use a percent style on them, and make sure we expand by one decimal place. So now we can see the Roxy Fleece pullover accounted for 2.1% of our total sales. The Billabong Fleece hoodie accounted for 8.6% of our total sales. The O'Neill Fleece pullover represented 4.5% of our total sales. The Hurley Fleece hoodie 16%. The Roxy short sleeve logo tee 9.2%. The Billabong knit short sleeve logo tee 21.4%. The O'Neill short sleeve logo tee 11.6%, and the Hurley knit short sleeve logo tee at 26.6%. All of these added up total should represent 100% of the sales. If all of these numbers do not represent 100% of the sales when they are added up, then the calculation is off. Please check that. Next, we'll need to look at the same data, but we will be looking at it for the on-hand information. So currently for the Roxy Fleece pullover, we have 2,485 units on hand. In total for all these styles, we have 19,896 units on hand. We will take our 2,485 units on hand, divide it into our total on hand of our 19,896, hit enter, convert this to a percent. So we can see total, the Roxy Fleece pullover accounts for 12.5% of the total on-hand inventory. We need to figure out this information for our remaining styles. So rather than me type in the formula for every single style once again, like I just did for the sales, I will go ahead and do the fill formatting with this style. However, in order to do the fill formatting in this column, I need to make sure my total sales data is locked. So if you can see, cell F15 is the total sales data. So I will click after my F15 information. I will hit F4 on my keyboard, and it will now put a $sign around the F, and it will put a $sign around the 15. When this happens in a formula, it simply means it is locking that cell, and even though I will be doing my fill formatting, it will not move off of that cell that is locked. So now I can complete my full formatting for all of my styles while I know it is still properly dividing my numbers into the total on-hand number, because that total on-hand number is now locked. We will hit enter. So let's go to our fill formatting, select, drag all the way down, and release. Hit F2 to double check our data. So we can see the Billabong Fleece hoodie is taking the cell F8, the 2,832 units on hand, and dividing it by our 19,896 units on hand. Same thing for the O'Neill Fleece pullover, as well as the Hurley Fleece hoodie, and so forth. So as you can see, as I'm checking my formulas, I'm still making sure I divide my unit on hand into the correct total unit on hand. I will add all of these numbers up to make sure they are 100%. Because remember, the 19,896 units on hand is our total on hand. So that is 100% of the styles on hand. So we can compare the Roxy Fleece pullover by saying, okay, 2.1% of our total sales for the fleece pullover have 12.5% of on-hand inventory available. If this style only represented 2.1% of the sales but has 12.5% of the on-hand inventory, we can see we have a lot of inventory in the style. For ideal selling, we would like to see that our sales percent is in line with our on-hand percent. If these two numbers are off dramatically, we can see what is happening with the style. So, as an example, our Billabong Fleece hoodie over here represents 8.6% of our total sales, but the on-hand accounts for 14.2% of the total on-hand inventory. This number should also be closer to the 8.6%. So that means for the Roxy Fleece pullover and the Billabong Fleece hoodie, we have a lot more inventory than what we needed to sell the item, which is why you want your inventory in line with your sales, because we are now missing potential sales in other areas where we could have used more inventory. Unfortunately, this Roxy Fleece pullover and this Billabong Fleece hoodie are taking away from our total on-hand inventory when clearly the sales aren't being generated. However, we can also look at this information based on sell-through. We can look at this to see how quickly our sell-through percent is turning or how slow our sell-through percent is. So we simply take our sales divided by our sales plus our unit on hand. and this will tell us the sell-through percent on the item. So we take our unit sales divided by our unit sales plus our on-hand. What we're simply doing is taking our sales and dividing it into the total number of units bought. Because if we add the sales that we have already sold plus our current on-hand, we can get to that original purchase number. We will hit enter, convert this to a percent. So we are now saying for the 4 weeks that this style has been on the sales floor, we have sold through 5% of our total inventory we bought. So if we've only sold through 5% of the total inventory we bought in this style, it is going to take us a long time to get out of this inventory. So let's go ahead and look at the sell-through information for the remaining styles. We will go ahead and use our fill formatting to do so, and I'm going to drag it all the way down to my total because I want to see this information on a total level as well. So we can see the Billabong fleece hoodie has a sell-through percent of 15.8%. The O'Neill fleece pullover has a sell-through percent of 13.4%. Our Hurley fleece hoodie has a sell-through percent of 27.6%. Our Roxy knit short sleeve logo tee has a sell-through percent of 19.4%. Our Billabong knit short sleeve logo tee has a sell-through percent of 34%. Our O'Neill knit short sleeve logo tee has a sell-through percent of 26.7%. And our Hurley knit short sleeve logo tee has a sell-through percent of 32.5%. In total, our sell-through percent for all of these styles is 23.6%. So we're saying all of these styles in the last 4 weeks have sold 6,136 units, and we have sold through 23.6% of the total amount of inventory bought for these styles. This is how we simply read this. So now as we can see how all of these styles are performing on an individual style basis, we will now need to look at the styles in different ways. So let's go ahead and look at these styles based on vendor.